kind of like you're watching Who Dat Comics. Who Dat?
What is up, everybody? You got myself and Boston Chris for another graphic content, basically an open forum, open table. I'm going to discuss a few hot topics, not going full on probably the hot topics because a few of them been discussed over and over, and it's actually aggravating at this point. But talk about that, and I forgot I actually have a preview video of a concept video, I think, of a video game. I didn't get to tell what the project was.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot I had that concept. And we'll probably show that a couple of times. And we'll do that because Chris hasn't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it
I
at
think only person actually seen it, myself and D-Runk. Because me and D-Runk talked off air one night. So, yeah, man, 2023. I would say it was a good year for both of us because I know a lot of stuff you picked up. You know a lot of stuff I picked up. I showed a lot on the hunt. We're gonna show some of the things that we think, some of our favorites. We'll probably show a few more next show. The day after Christmas and New Year's bash show. But and it was so funny to tell you about that. I actually was in the chat for that show early, and I was like, where's Chris at? And I looked at the date. I said, this is for next week. So, that was funny. But, so we're going to show, and I'm going to show at least one thing that's not a comic. So, shout out to Michael Baker. He's been chatting it up, kind of talked to him like off air and stuff like that. So, appreciate you sticking through and coming through. Nice to see you. Please smash that thumbs up button. And I don't want to forget because we only have 10 days left. 10 days left for the super chat giveaway. Both of these slabs. One lucky person will win both of these. I'll show this off real quick, and we about to jump in. And if anybody wants to chat, with us and join, I'll drop the link. Let me know. If I see some of the people I know, I'll probably drop it anyway if you want to join. So both of these are going to go to one winner. The last day to enter is December 31st. So you got a Hades signed by Clayton Crane, 92. I never pressed it. And then you got a Wonder Man #1 and a 90. So you can win this book as little as $2 to get on a wheel spin. If you do $5, you'll get 3 spots and so on and so forth. So you actually have a good chance of winning because I think we got more channel members who are entered. So shout out to the channel members. If you don't want to do a super chat, please let me know, and you can cash at me or something, and I'll write your name on the back. But if you're gonna do that, let me know so I can do it and not forget. So that is the giveaway. Shout out to all the people who answered, and good luck. And appreciate everybody kind of checking on me. I wasn't feeling well. Still not really feeling 100%, but I'm gonna push through a little show and have some fun. So, any hot topics you want to talk about, Chris? First, you got CGC. You got
so many things.
Kang, not so Kang.
Yeah.
What else?
Vin Diesel's also in some hot water.
Oh yeah, Vin Diesel just.
And then I guess
I don't know if it got officially cut. I'm not to say that. I don't know if it got officially cut. It was rumors. I don't remember if it got officially. You got the Vin Diesel accusations. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to discuss the Vin Diesel accusation because it was 13 years ago. And all it is an accusation at this moment. And
So just know that Vin Diesel, a former assistant, accused him of what's it called, sexual assault. But it's going back to 2010, so it's literally from 13 years ago. Not saying it didn't happen, not saying it did, just But I mean, I think as far as his career, what does it mean? It's tough to say. You know what I mean? So I mean,
I want to say I think after these Fast movies, he was probably going to just stick. He was probably going to do more producing.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like because he hadn't been doing anything else but focusing on these last few Fast.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just where he stands with all that is kind of up in the air. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, in the end of it all,
And,
it's
and I
just,
think
it's
and I
not
think
about-
it's and I don't think it's criminal accusation. Well, the assault is a criminal act, but I think it's a civil matter, if I'm not
probably,
mistaken. I think she's suing him and accusing him of that. So that's going to be very
which,
interesting because
Yeah.
civil, you don't need any evidence.
no,
You don't need any proof. You just need the people to feel for you.
yeah, you just need basically somebody to settle so that you'll get money, and
Yeah.
that could be anything from you didn't pay me enough, or at the time that I stopped working for you, you blew up after that point, and you're making all this money, and I deserve my cut. So,
Yeah,
we'll see how
she
that all
probably got
shapes out.
dropped as an assistant too. That kind of could be hurtful. Yeah, I think you're assistant to multi-millionaire movie star. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the hardest thing you got to do? Maybe get good coffee for him.
Or,
In traffic,
any number of things. You know what I mean?
So,
I think. I think that this is, like it's in the news, it's in the air right now, but I mean, who knows what's gonna happen with it? So I just, but it's there,
Yeah.
and then you have, obviously the whole situation. Just just bringing it up with Michael Baker was alluding to with Jonathan Majors, where now he's been convicted of 2 was it misdemeanor crimes?
2 misdemeanors. The harsher crimes, he was found not guilty.
Yeah,
Which I think they're the same, but just they use different verbiage. Like I think the ones he got found not guilty is I think are felonies. These are the ones he got found guilty of are misdemeanors, and I hate to get in there because I don't agree with what he was accused with. So the people know that don't agree with what he was accused of. I'm not for any of that. But if anybody is dealt with the legal system or lawyers and courts and stuff like that, when they get charges, they build up a lot of charges. They give you a lot of charges because they want you to either plead out on one, or if we do go to trial, we can get you on one. That's what the normal case with a lot of these when they have a lot of charges. I think originally, if I'm not mistaken, he had 7 charges. Jonathan Majors, it might have been more. Somebody can do more information, but I remember hearing 7. It got dropped down to 4, and then at one point the prosecution tried to drop it because of all the evidence they had on the girlfriend, and the judge denied it. So that's when we end up having a trial. So he got accused of the misdemeanor. So and it wasn't what I'm hearing. It wasn't from what progressed that night, because if you see the videos, you see the evidence. From that night, he's presumably innocent if you go by all the stuff they have, especially since he went partying right after the so-called incident. And but it was because of damning text messages that he sent in the past. So that's where we're at with that. To answer Michael's question, I would wish they wouldn't recast him because they're misdemeanors. Plus, they're gonna kill him. So wouldn't that be a pop in theaters? If people don't like him, guess what? We're killing him.
I think,
but that's how I felt. I wish they wouldn't recast him. But I'm with you as far as if they're gonna do anything, let's recast Doom. It should be 10 years from now.
Doom should be built up.
Doom should be built up.
You can't like to pivot to Doom is a mistake, just because it's going to be so disjointed, it doesn't make any sense. And really, I mean, you're talking about a character that has a bunch of different variants, and just because there's a bunch of different variants does not necessarily mean it has to be specifically Jonathan Majors. Like, you can play around with. I mean, we went from Terrence Howard as War Machine James Rhodes to Don Cheadle with no explanation. I'm sorry, not Eric Bana.
Until Terrence Howard dropped the truth. We didn't know anything till he spoke about it.
And then you go from what's it called, Edward Norton to Mark Ruffalo. You know what I mean? And obviously there's a falling out, but it's just like so you can move on with other and it's not going to really hurt anything. I think in this case, I think that you can recast them. I mean, obviously, like, I think that it shouldn't be as crazy as what the like I don't think he should be necessarily fired for it, but if that's the choice they're gonna make and that's what they're gonna stick with, fine. Recast and then just keep going with what you were doing before. You're gonna have to get somebody else up to speed and hope that they can do as good a job as Jonathan Majors did. But yeah, to go right into Doom, it just you're gonna what you're basically gonna do is you're gonna ruin two characters with one thought process, and it's just not gonna work the way you want it to, because the thing that no one's thinking about, like, oh, we'll just go to Doom, just go, like you have to now you gotta rush and introduce other characters in quickly that you didn't mean to. So who knows how many other characters that's gonna end up encompassing and end up making, have to be brought in. And then the other thing is too, let's say you don't, let's say, oh no, I was behind the scenes the whole time, I'm the real puppet master. Okay, so now
there's no evidence, no hints. Yeah,
like
Marvel always has hints, hints of stuff.
Yeah, so there's been nothing like that, and I think that just going ahead and I think that the whole thing about trying to just move to Doom is a bad idea. But I mean, I think when it comes to
that's a different casting. I didn't think about that. He was actually really good.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. Like, you could do a lot of that stuff. Like, that's the thing. Like, they already said that the whole thing with fans are asking for John Boyega to come back and be Kang,
which would be a good one. But he's got a bad falling out with Disney. Yeah,
well, on the Star Wars side. So I mean, who's to say they can't be smoothed over? But he already responded on Twitter with a animated GIF of Donkey saying no. So I mean, it just, and I don't think he's really acted in much since then. So I don't know if he's just
he's been doing a lot of independent stuff.
Yeah, so he might be done with Hollywood, like in the bigger films type thing for a while, if he ever does do it. The other thing I say is this too, like when it comes to Jonathan Majors and his career, it's kind of you can paint that with a broad brush and say, well, Disney tries to keep everything wholesome, and I understand like at this point, yeah, they want to keep it wholesome, and do I think they were a little quick to fire him after? I think they were, but not in a way that they're unjustified. Just because if he's convicted, so he hasn't, like we don't know the sentence specifically.
Yeah. They could have waited for a sentencing, in my opinion. If he would have got time in jail, then I would say, okay, it's okay to fire him because he's not going to be able to work.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because it's like so you have it that way, and I think that's a little premature. I don't think that you should necessarily do that, just because as much as they can go ahead and point and say, well, we're trying to keep this clean, we don't want this, we don't want any element like this. Well, Robert Downey Jr., who's one of the biggest stars you had prior to any of this stuff. I mean, it's years prior, but he had a very bad past coming into all this stuff, and then he got a second chance and it got to
he had a destructive past that not alone could have killed him, but could have killed others.
Yeah, exactly. And so he ended up coming back, and so I mean, unfortunately for Jonathan Majors, I don't think he's going to get anything. I mean, his stuff isn't as destructive as what Robert Downey's was, but I mean, it might be a few years before you see him back into anything, just because it took Robert Downey Jr. time to get in there. But you're gonna see him in some.
I think you'll see him in some independent stuff. I think people like Tyler Perry is gonna give him chances. People like 50 Cent, because these people got their own studios. The only reason I'm saying these names, they have their own studios. Tyler Perry has a massive studio in Atlanta. 50 Cent just bought a bunch of acreage and built a massive studio in Shreveport, Louisiana. You can look all this up. This is fact. So they have those people that he can actually get work from, that I think will give him work. Will it redeem him personally? I don't know. I think him. I think he can redeem himself just like Robert Downey Jr. is. Hopefully, because Robert, he'll tell you his wife saved his life. His current wife saved his life and changed him, helped him. Hopefully, that is what Megan Good is doing for, Jonathan Majors. And we'll see how that happens. So,
and I think too, just the one thing everybody has to understand, or that we'll need to understand, is just that everybody has time, and it's all kind of it's hard to judge somebody based on that. Like this one incident ended up, basically it seems like a lot of it was caught of public opinion on top of the stuff that was presented for this, and so they were able to bring up stuff from the past and say, okay, well, see, this guy's still bad news. Look, and then it's just like, okay, well, you got to pass with this, and people, I mean, like people kind of form their opinion very quickly on this. So it was a tough one to deal with, and it stinks that he's not going to be around. But,
I give them credit, because if this was 2019, maybe I'm not trying to think far enough in the right sweet spot.
Yeah,
he would have been fired instantly with the accusations.
Yeah,
which it was whatever that time frame with what's his name,
James Gunn.
Situation. I think around that time frame, in a few years after, I think if it was during that time frame, he'd have been gone quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that was the whole thing, and the whole James Gunn thing was something that really, I think that whole aftermath and what happened. I mean, then you have the Johnny Depp thing too, but like that specifically James Gunn, where they instantly fired him, no questions asked, no nothing, and then all the Guardians actors was like, no, this is bullshit. You fired him, we're done. And they kind of held them up and were like, well, then we're not going to make any more movies. So,
Yeah, because I think that was all around the same time Kevin Hart got fired from the Oscars.
Yeah.
It was stuff like old tweets. It was just old tweets and stuff.
And it was just like, so there was just like, what are you doing? And then, that kind of made him have to kind of take a step back and like, okay, wait a minute. Like, let's like really, because, and it's very easy to just sit there and just drop somebody. And then on top of that too, like, with the James Gunn thing, like the person that went ahead and exposed all this stuff was someone who notoriously just did not like him. And then as soon as he got in trouble, as soon as he got fired, the dude was bragging on his social media. He's like, you lost control of the narrative, bro. You lost control of the narrative. We control it. Like, so it's like, it was a calculated effort to try to ruin his career. And, you can say what you want. I mean, because he's back at, he came back and he did stuff with Disney and now he's working with DC. But, I mean, they effectively kind of did do it. Like, he's got that stigma now above him about, some old tweets that he made.
That's like, what's his name, who got accused of being with kids? What's the guy, the actor? Kevin, not Kevin Bacon, but his name's Kevin. But he was like, he had a show on Netflix dealing with the government. I think he was a senator.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. Yeah. I think didn't recently he got found not guilty, like in court. I remember hearing about that.
I'm not sure. I know that like
the only reason I say I remember hearing about that because you hear it, like I barely heard about the not guilty, and then that was it. And a couple of people I follow on YouTube, like movie stuff, talked about it a little bit, but that was it. But as soon as they had accusations, Oh, it was all over him. But somebody could confirm if he was. I thought he was found not guilty, but he still disappeared.
I mean, because they had no, and that was the thing too. At that point in time, that's when Netflix was kind of really getting into the whole, with their own content. And that House of Cards was a big show. Like he was getting ready to be one of those people that can go and write his own ticket. And I guarantee you, at some point, the way because of how popular it had gotten, and because he's a really good actor in a lot of ways, I bet you he would have been in an MCU movie or something of some type of.
Not just that, they had rumors of him hosting the Oscars because he's funny.
He's one
good actor. He can sing and dance. He's a historian of movies. He knows a lot. He was actually in talks to be a host for the Oscars to do like the old hosts were doing back in the days, Steve Martin's and stuff like that. Like they were gonna get him to do multiple, but all this happened and it disappeared. But it's just gotta be careful. That's why I always said I'd rather be rich and not famous.
I mean, it's something that I'll say. Like a lot of people kind of like to make fun of celebrities, like, oh, they have it so hard and all this, but they really do as much as. And I'm not saying that that you got to treat them better than other people, but even them being treated like regular people is something they can't do. Like where you can just go to the store and whatever, they can't do that. Like you can't, like The Rock can't just randomly go shopping in Target one day. Like he's gonna call ahead and tell them like, all right, look, I'm coming here
through the back door.
Yeah, because if he goes,
the only person that goes through the front door is freaking Shaq. Crazy ass.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's just one of those things where it's like, or even if he is there, it's like, okay, he's going to be on the side. He's going to have people all around him. Like, no, you can't come near him, leave him alone. And it's just like, oh yeah, they definitely hire people to go so for him. But then that's the thing. It's just like, you have to wonder too.
That's what
like,
they call
I want to go out and
assistance.
get my own stuff. Like, I don't want to, you know what I mean? Because sometimes people get bored and they just want to, no, I just want to go. I want to go to the mall today. It's just like, yeah, that's not happening. Well, you can't go to the mall. You haven't been able to go to the mall since you were like, in your wrestling days for the most part. And now that you've been, this huge star, like, you can't go to the mall. Are you crazy? Like, you'll cause a riot if you go to the mall. And that's part of the thing too. Like, like Taylor Swift. Look at Taylor Swift. Every NFL game she's in. We had a headline on the Boston Herald on Monday talking about what's it called? Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift was at the game exchanging, Christmas cookies with recipes with Travis Kelce's mother. I'm like, okay, so tell us the Patriots suck without saying the Patriots suck. You know what I mean? It's just like, we're not going to talk about the fact the Patriots lost. We're going to say Taylor Swift was there and she was exchanging recipes with this one. It's just like that's how crazy that is. And then people couldn't get out of the stadium because she was there. And so that's another thing that people complain, like, oh, we can't get in or out. It took us all this time to do this just because she was there and this and that. And it's just like, that's part of what everybody goes through, because she can't just walk up.
Just imagine like if a president or something, or a vice president. It's even worse. That's even worse.
I can tell you.
They shut down streets, blocks.
And,
and like if you are in the zone where it's shut down, you're going to federal jail. And you got to prove why you were in that spot. You got to prove.
I have a story. I have a good story about that, actually. I was 12 years old. We went to in sixth grade. We went to New York City for a class trip, and it just so happened that Bill Clinton was there at that time, and so we were in Times Square, and we could not leave Times Square for the longest time. So we're sitting on the bus just waiting, and we were supposed to be like, we had left, I think, at like something like 4 a.m. to get there to spend like the day, and we were supposed to be home by like 7 o'clock. We didn't get home till 11:30 because they shut down pretty much that whole area for like 4 hours for Bill Clinton to do what he was gonna do. And it was just like, it was funny. And Mom was like, and this is before cell phone. So when I finally got home, I was like, what took so long? What's going on? How come this and that? And it's just like, well, this is what happened. So that is, unfortunately how that all goes. But the thing that I'll say, I think for us, as far as stuff that we're going to be able to watch, Marvel's doing one movie, and I think DC's only doing like one movie this year, right? So there's not a lot of movies coming out for this year. I think there'll be more shows.
That's not. What is it? Echo dropping, What If dropping, and these all dropping.
What If is tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow,
I think.
And every day until like what? I forgot what day, but
until they're doing it for Christmas, so I think it's every day until the 27th or 29th or something like that.
Yeah, so we got that. You got Echo, I think, coming right after in January, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
all of that at once.
Yeah, so you have that in January, and then not sure what other shows, but I mean, it's just like, I don't think there's going to be a lot of content, obviously, because they're just trying to start refilming everything. But it's going to be kind of a, I guess, a little bit strange year for us as far as like the comic or sci-fi comic community of watching movies and stuff, just because there's not going to be, this is the first time in a long time where there's not much content for us. And as much as people want to be like, see, this sucks, maybe, just maybe, that'll get people to recalibrate their expectations a little bit when there's not as much to offer. Because a lot of people, I think, when it comes to people like, and this flopped and that wasn't good, I think it's not because of the fatigue. I don't believe in that whole fatigue bullshit. Like, if you don't like it, great, fatigue. If you do like it, I don't think you have fatigue on it. I just think that some people have set their expectations so high because the bar was raised to that point that they don't want to have to go back and start again. And that's what I think is really kind of going to help with not so much stuff coming out, that people will be, okay, I want to see this again. Like, I missed this. I want this back.
The only thing I can answer you, Chef, about the show's completed. Show's done. So I don't know. That's the only thing. I don't know. You spend a lot of
Yeah.
money, and you give a lot of money to Ryan Coogler because he was gonna be, I think he was gonna direct a couple maybe and produce it, but he's gonna be on, when you produce stuff, you're on set a lot. So
Yeah.
it was his baby that he was gonna develop that character. But that show's done. They showed a trailer at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a put together trailer. It was a good trailer. So who knows? Oh, Agatha. We are getting Agatha. I forgot.
Yeah.
Agatha will be next year. So we're getting like
There's only a couple shows.
Yeah, we're getting
Yeah.
like Echo. You got to count Echo because in the new year.
Like I bet you they do like a show every quarter. So something that like at least
that
you
would
have like
make sense.
months.
That would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense. But yeah, Agatha, I think that's later in the 2024. Like I think around October, maybe they're probably gonna shoot for.
Yeah.
Then you got Echo, and then you're gonna have Deadpool 3. Some
Yeah.
people are worried about Deadpool 3. I'm actually not worried at all. Especially with nothing really else coming out for us, those type of genres. I think.
Yeah.
So Deadpool actually probably. I hate to say people who are banking for Deadpool to be bad or want Deadpool to be bad. It's probably gonna make $1 billion, especially if they stick to the formula what they've been doing.
Yeah.
And if it's rated R, yeah, we're gonna get it. So
Yeah. I mean that whole thing, like I don't understand. I mean, I haven't heard anybody wanting to see that it gets bad. I mean, I haven't seen that, but if you're
Bleeker went off on Biggie show about it.
Saying that it's gonna be bad.
All kind of stuff.
It depends. I mean, just because like I think a lot of people are just worried that it's not gonna be the same as it was before, just because it's under the actual Disney ban and not like that. But I mean, in the end of it all, I mean, I think that you should, if you like these type of movies, you should want them to succeed no matter what. I think that praying for a failure is just a weird thing. It doesn't matter whether you like the actors, whether you like the characters specifically. Like if you really are into this stuff and you want to see it, I mean, and really, I think that people got to put that in perspective again. It's just like that there's always different shifts in what's popular at the time. It's just like right now is it's our time, and they're able to have the technology to make these movies really good. So I mean, or to make these movies look visually good and everything like that. So enjoy it while it lasts, because I'm telling you, when something else comes along and it's going to be its time, it's not going away. And I keep saying romantic comedy because I'm just like, that's the first thing that pops in my mind. When that shit comes back, it's coming back with a vengeance. You wait and see, or whatever the new genre is that people want to like. Consume.
Currently we're getting it a lot on streaming. So
it's just like people keep cranking all that stuff out just because they can. It's just like like I mean Hallmark, the Hallmark movie and the Lifetime, all that shit. Like that's on a constant just like churn out. So like once a different genre can take over and that's the top spot, you're not going to see this stuff as much, and you're going to want to see it. And guess what? If the money is not there to make it, then they're not going to do it. Or if the attention isn't there to make it. So hoping that these things fail isn't really going to give you the outcome that you want, where it's like, well, they'll make better stuff. See, just let these fail, and then the good stuff's coming. Like, no, enough of these fail. They're like, all right, so this is not profitable. This is not profitable anymore. Fuck it, no more. Don't need it. We'll just do a couple things here and there, and that's it. It won't be the top of the box office anymore. So that's just what I say. I think that everything has.
I would say no to Onslaught, Chef. I would like to see Mr. Sinister, and not because I have a 9/8 signed. Shadow King actually would be awesome. Brotherhood of Mutants actually would be good.
Shadow King would be a fun.
Yeah.
Shadow King would be a fun like horror type villain to do. Yeah. Like if you wanted to go
that. There's a lot of stuff they can do before Magneto.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's a
bunch of good stuff.
So
I thought it would be a little bit too early, like because you gotta have that
way too early.
Xavier and Magneto kind of coming together. What you know what I mean. So it's just like that you gotta wait on. But I mean, there's a ton of good villains you can bring in. There's a lot of different stories you can draw from. So it's just like where I mean stuff that they've already done, and then there's other stuff that they haven't done that you can go with, or even improve on. You know what I mean? So there's a lot. There's a lot of meat on that bone with the X-Men. But it's going to be a little while before they get to that point. So I think that really you know, that whole thing with the X-Men and Fantastic Four and everybody really wanting to see that, that's good that people want to see these things and people want to, you know, have more invested into it. It's just, you know, but unfortunately you do have to wait. It's that's just the, you know, part of the game that stinks is that you have to wait for this other stuff. But in the meantime, if they're putting out, you know, content for you, you know, go see it. And, you know, absolutely be critical of it if you don't like it.
I would say go see it before you're critical of it. Don't just be critical because you don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I'm not giving my opinion on Aquaman 2, and I probably actually shouldn't even see it because I didn't even see Aquaman 1. I hate to say that, but
I like Aquaman.
Aquaman 1. Aquaman character is not character.
Yeah. No.
But I do like Jason Momoa, so I probably just need to sit down and watch the first one. I don't even know if they put the first one on Netflix because Netflix got a lot of the rights. Well,
it might be on Max.
Yeah, so I'm like the number one, but
yeah,
I'm probably going to go in theaters to catch it out, but I'm gonna watch both of them. But
yeah,
let's show some pickups. I'm gonna show a few. I'm not gonna show all of them. Show a couple of pickups. This is one of my last ones I got, and I'm very happy about it. This is not a comic. This is a sealed box of the complete classic series collection. So you got 23 DVDs, 10 seasons, still sealed. See the tape still sealed. You know, bottom still, all that's still good. I'm gonna get this signed by the voice actors for the show. I'm gonna sign it all on the plastic part because they're all coming to New Orleans. So this was probably my happiest, biggest pickup. Will I bust it open and watch it? I don't know.
I mean, if you
a lot of stuff is like online. I think they actually were showing like all the seasons of Turtles like on YouTube live. Like you could just watch it for free. So I probably won't bust it open. Probably like my little collector's thing, but because they're not going to be once they sell out of this, you have to buy this on the secondhand market because you won't be making any more. Yeah, you won't be making any more than somebody who is selling it would be like they give you that I don't want to sell it price. It'd be like $500-$600, and you're gonna be like crap.
Yeah.
So I'll show because I got like three. No, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 slabs. So I'll show a couple of slabs. So this was one of my favorite pickups. A lot. Just showed this on the hunt and got grief from my opponent, but you don't see this book. So what this book is, people don't know. This is 4-color 178 from 1947. This is actually the first appearance of Uncle Scrooge. Uncle Scrooge hadn't appeared in anything. He was in this book, his first appearance, in a super high grade with good paid quality. If you look up this book, like the high you're going grades, it's like crazy. And I got this for a crazy steal price because I think if I wanted to sell it, I'd double my money. So yeah, it's a good pickup. Nice grade. I don't have to worry about a Mark Jewelers being in there. So.
Oh yeah, we yeah. I guess we
could talk about that if you want to show a couple of pickups. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Here is another one. I'm gonna save 3 of my books. I'm gonna show one with slab. So this is a pickup. I got this in a 9.6, like graded raw. Came back a 9.6, but it's a big jump, big price difference in the 9.8. These Bronze Age 70s books. Get them in 9.8s. I think these are good, especially on certain characters like this and other female characters, especially other female characters. A lot of people I hate to say it, don't care for the female characters. Only one that's super expensive, I think, is X-Men 101 in a 9.8. Besides the rest in that Bronze Age, they are actually, I'm saying affordable, but compared to this was Ghost Rider.
Yeah, no way.
You're talking tens of thousands. If this was, I'm trying to think of another. Luke Cage was Luke Cage silver or bronze?
He is.
So he was in the 70s. He was in the 70s.
Yeah, he's 20 cents. So
that's another one. I know you got to send it in the Silver Age tier when you do it. So that's another 198. Good luck. And oh man, but it's a whole bunch. Iron Fist, another one. It's very expensive, even though people don't like the character because of how it's portrayed. Good luck finding it. Good luck getting that at 9.8. You're paying like probably 4 times what I paid for this.
Yep.
So thought that was a perfect opportunity to get these. I think they have no choice but to go up in the long-term future. Now, will I be easy to sell? Probably not. But but this is a book that it's a long-term. I collect the female characters. I pass it along to my daughter, and I think that was like that's one of the books I can't wait to give her along. So
yeah,
you want to show a couple, or
I can.
You want to talk about the Mark Julius thing really quickly?
It's up to you. I don't care. I mean, I can show stuff.
You can show a couple stuff. We can talk about it as well.
Yeah. So
I totally forgot about the Mark Julius.
Yeah, me too.
Until I said it.
So I will show actually I show these because so I have been getting sketch covers done, and I had some fun with these ones. So the first one I'm going to show, I had this idea just because I was like, there's a bunch of titles that I just have Savage in the name, and I'm like, you know what, this would be pretty cool if you get to see some of these characters, like kind of in like a Macho Man style or Macho Man as these characters. So I got Wolverine, a Savage Wolverine. So I got Macho Man dressed like Wolverine, in the old. So this is like, if anybody remembers from back in like the 80s, it's like the old school. And the guy who did it, his name is Steve Littick. Super nice guy, loves wrestling. Like I brought this to him, and he was like, "Oh!" Like his eyes bulged out of his head. He was like excited that I gave him something that he wanted to do, and
something different.
So he did, that championship belt and all that stuff. So that was really cool. The next one that I have is from a guy named Ken Wheaton, and Ken Wheaton does a lot of like Simpsons and cartoons type stuff. Another really cool guy. I stayed and talked with him for a while. Just throughout the con, just kind of chilling and talking about different stuff. And so I had another kind of idea in my head. So I got I've gotten the Sinister Six, on these blank sketch covers in a Simpsonized style. So I have Craven Simpsonized by a different artist. His name is John Delaney, and then this one I got was Electro. So Electro. In a Simpsons style. So I'm gonna try to get all of them done. And after he did such a great job that and I think he comes up around this area a lot. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get him to do the rest of them. So really cool. And then the last one I got from a guy. His name is Anthony Apaka, and he's I think A1. If you go to conventions, his name is like A1, and this dude killed it on this. Like I had this Blade cover. I was just like, yeah, man, like, you think you can just do like this? And after I was just talking with him, and just like he has a lot of books where he'll do like mix kind of like a graffiti style into what he does. But he's like, oh man, I'm gonna hook this up. I'm gonna do it good. And so I got it, and my eyes fell out of my head when I got it. I was like, this is really cool. But so he went ahead and did this for me on Blade sketch cover. I was like, that's sick. I couldn't be like more happy with how this came out. So definitely my highlights. That actually was got all those at the Boston Fan Expo just because I wasn't getting anything graded, and there wasn't a lot of people I was getting anything signed by. So I was like, all right, let me get these instead. And really, I do love getting out on the sketch covers. I think I'm going to do some sketch cards as well. Just try to, see if I can get a little bit more stuff done by more artists. But, those were just really fun pickups, stuff that I'm really excited about. And people are like, oh, you're not going to sell those, right? Because I'm telling them like, oh, not because, and I think it was Ken Wheaton was joking. He's like, oh, he's like, so what are you going to do? Put this on eBay? I'm like, hell no, this is mine. Like these are mine. These will never go anywhere. Those are always going to be mine. I don't even know if I would send them out to get graded. I mean, send them to CBCS to get,
You can probably get the art. You don't even have to get them graded. Just get them put in.
Just get the art on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking, get him slabbed and put the odd in there. But I don't even know if I would do that. I think I'm just happy with them being raw. So we'll see. I might change my mind, but like those, like I
I
encourage
don't know how
anybody.
much it costs to get it raw, but that's something to look into.
Yeah, I mean, I would encourage anybody who can, who likes that type of stuff to definitely get it at a convention, just because it's good stuff. And I would also say too, um, you know, go see some of the like local guys that are around, just because the thing that a lot of people will do is I want to go to this big name, and it's just like but some of the artists that are just sitting there chilling in the artist alley that like are just local guys, like go to their portfolio, see what they do, and like, hey man, like this is pretty cool, like let me get that. And yeah, they're not big names, they're up and coming, but the prices are good, and on top of that too, they usually try to show out and do the best they can on those. So
Especially if you got a book. Especially if you got a book.
oh yeah. Or if you get a book, or if you got something else, you're like, oh yeah, this guy did this, and like, oh he did that, did he? Because it's just like throwing down the gauntlet to them. So it's just like you're like, oh, okay, all right, this guy wanted to do like that. Let me do this for you. I'll take care of this for you. So it's really fun doing that, and it's great to see them all, with the creative process and just the competitive, juices that they get going back and forth. Because a lot of times they'd be sitting there like. And it's funny because you wouldn't think so, but a lot of times, like, all right, hold on, let me go ahead and make you something good, and then, that's how you get a really cool sketchbook full of good stuff, or just great sketch covers.
To the people who are here, let's watch the trailer, and you can tell people that I showed it. I'll show it again later, but you guys who are here right now will get a treat to see. it's under 30 seconds, 27-second video of, I think, either a cutscene. It's probably a cutscene of a video game that is currently in production.
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Hope you guys like that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
2 people that left, sorry you missed it. But yeah, hope you guys saw it in the chat. You can let me know what you guys thought. I'll show it again so you can see it again. But yeah, I like the fact, quickly to talk about that, is that they're using androids as the foot soldiers.
Yeah.
I do like that. Yeah, that means they can be a little bit. They can be as violent as they want against the android foot soldiers, because in the guidelines of movies or games or whatever it is, androids, aliens, it's full game. You can chop the head off of that android and you won't get a mature rating.
No.
So that's why they chose that. So yeah.
Yeah,
Michael Baker says,
going to say, like,
damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, you can really go. I mean, you don't have to worry about like toning it down to the point where it's just like, oh no, this one can't kill these people. You can't have them do that. Like, it's just like, I think I think
I didn't get that, Chef. You didn't send me that, because I'd have probably shared that one as well. But this is one I got from a little group I'm in on Instagram. But I don't think you sent me the Donnie. You can send it to me and I'll upload it.
I think that whatever that's gonna be looks cool, because I mean you got to think back, like the last Turtles game we got was Super Nintendo. The last Turtles game that I remember playing was that Super Nintendo one, where it's just like Turtles in Time or whatever, which was really good, really fun. And then the most recent one that they did, where they kind of remade remade everything for I think it's like the newer systems. So it's kind of like just a remake of the older games, but like completely new content and updated, and you can use more characters and everything. So it's really just great time. So you haven't owned a console since PlayStation 2. Gaming. What's fun is that I
have Xbox One. So
I mean, I'm up to date with like I have a PlayStation 5 and everything. But the thing is that when it comes to it, I mean, a lot of people are now building all these retro machines, whether it be through a computer or just emulators and things like that, so they can play all these old games and just have like this huge big library. So depending on where you stop, you can, if you have enough storage and everything like that, like you can pretty much build yourself a pretty good retro gaming system that can play everything from like let's say back in the day, like Atari, up to I think PlayStation. I think maybe PlayStation 1, 2, and then I think Wii and all that type of stuff. So it's like the emulation community is pretty crazy. But I mean, that looks awesome though, that clip of that game. So I'm sure that's going to end up coming out on a next gen system, which would end up being PlayStation 5, or who knows, maybe even later
It might
on.
do a dual. It might be a dual release. It might be and I might have it for the other one. But yeah, I'll show it again later for the peeps who didn't see it. If you guys want to see it again, let's talk about this Mark Julis and show the rest of the pickups, and then next show we might show a few pickups, but we're gonna talk about probably future goals.
Yeah. So I was looking at so the retro console called the Pandora Box. I've followed a bunch of stuff on YouTube. Like if you go on YouTube, you can see all kinds of crazy stuff, and like people have all these different builds of different retro gaming, either PCs or just all this stuff, and they just go to town and they just have all these games anytime they want from all these different. And I'm sure if you go to conventions, they show you. There's the guy that's like, "Yeah, you want to buy this thing? It's got all, it's got over 60,000 games from all over the place." So, I mean, you can pretty much buy them anywhere. I think that that's just something that's getting more and more traction as people get older and they don't want to kind of shell out the money for a PlayStation 5 or whatever it is, or you can just go back and just play the games you loved growing up. So that's kind of cool. I know. So on to the CGC scandal that's going on. So just in case if you guys aren't sure about what we're talking about, it started out initially where somebody had found that they had bought Amazing Spider-Man 252, and it was CGC slabbed with a custom label, and but there was another one out there that had the exact same certification number, and it was just a regular label. So like, oh, what's going on with this? And the deeper that you looked at, they were both I think 9/8. You looked at the two of them, with the pictures that were there from the certification label. One of them clearly wasn't a 9/8. Like it had, I think, like a couple color breaks here and there, and just the centering on the spine was a little different. So there was definitely differences between them. So that kind of got some people talking about like what's going on with this. Like the CGC just make a mistake and give the same certification number,
which is possible, very very possible. If you watch any of my videos.
Yeah. I mean, it happens where they just, they kind of give, and it's just like, oh, like we meant to put this with this or whatever. And then so, the thing that I guess raised the eyebrows is that it's clearly not the same book. So like what happened with this? And then so you fast forward a little further, I think maybe like another, 24 hours or so. And somebody had found that, oh, well, there's a New Mutants 98 Mark Julis, and then another one with a custom label. And I guess like, same deal. Like there's a difference between the two of them. You can see the discrepancy. There's differences. You don't have to be super eagle-eyed to find it, but you can see that like the wrap is a little different. Some of the corners aren't as crisp as others. There's a little bit more space on the bottom of the cover, the bottom of the front cover on one than the other, and so people are still trying to be like, oh, like what's going on here? Same certification number, don't know what's happening. And then the I guess Smoking Gun, the one that really made it a big deal, was started getting more people to look into it, and West Coast Avenger, and I think somebody else was like just the people were just going ahead and looking at different stuff, and they found that there was a Hulk 181 that was then gone ahead and same situation, But then then I guess went to look at it and found out that there was a guy that was selling this. So one guy was selling and going ahead and, you know, selling these things and getting big money for them, but they weren't the quality of books that was going out. They were getting, you know, them reholded with a new label and getting, you know, whatever grade it was coming back as. So usually in all cases they came back, you know, higher than the grade they were. But the problem with this Hulk 181 is that it was a qualified green label because the value stamp was missing. But when he sent it to get reholded, there was no mention of it, nothing at all. Just reholded, new label, and it was, I think, it went from being an 8.5 to a 9.0. So what that's done is people now are kind of skeptical as to what's going on. And I guess the mock jewelers, they weren't sure if it was actually an actual mock jeweler in there or not. And, you know, when you have all this stuff happening, it's pretty crazy because it's tough now to figure out like how this guy is getting to do this, because they went to like Swaggle House did a video and showed the guy, you know, showed that I guess this guy had been doing this for a while, and pull up the eBay seller, showed his page, and it was just a bunch of different stuff. And it's just like, so this is one guy doing this. You don't know how many other people are doing it, and how is it so that he's able to get it reholded and get it to come back without this problem? It's like, I understand that they don't necessarily regrade, you know, when you send something and they get reholded, but the thing is that like they're not even checking the quality of the book, like to see what's going on. So it's just, you know, it's really kind of a situation that CGC needs to make some type of statement and say something, just because their reputation's on the line. I mean, really on the line badly, because how do you, you know, it's almost like a buyer's beware. I mean, it's a buyer's beware anytime you look at it when you're going through anything like eBay or buying from anybody really that you don't know. You know, so the thing about it, and one of the red flags for me with this, like I would never have bought any of this stuff. Number one, because I can't afford it. But number two, I mean, all jokes aside, but number two, just because the guy's, you know, seller rating on eBay was 96.8. And I know a lot of people think, well, you know, does that make a difference? I don't buy from anybody who's not 100%, just because I feel like, and that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody who's 100% is good, because they could have one sale, have 100%, and then still scam you out of money. It's like you try to look for people who are reputable and have a lot of sales, and that you can tell do it a lot, and then you build up a reputation of understanding who the seller is, and a business relationship. But the thing is that it's very, very tough now to try to figure it out. And Michael Baker said, CGC is getting sloppy with and careless with the quality control, and must have been on vacation in the reholder department. I think that's definitely part of it. There's got to be something going on where it's just like, they're just kind of churning them out and not caring. That could be one thing. The other thing I'd be kind of curious about, and I hope this isn't the case, I really do, but this would be like the worst case scenario, is that the guy knows somebody in that department. And this is just going down a conspiracy web, because this is all alleged. I can't say this 100% is what happened. I don't know. But imagine if somebody knew somebody in, that worked for CGC, that was in encapsulation and reholdering, and could just sit there and just pop a book out and throw it back in. Or let's just say the guy himself has enough of an operation where he can go ahead, send a book, find out that, he can crack it, and then go ahead and re-encapsulate it on his own, and then send you a lesser book. Like that's kind of a scary thing, man. So, CGC has yet to say anything about it. And I really do think that it's something that, they need to make mention of it, because, right now everyone's speculating and going crazy. And I'm going to be actually kind of curious to see, when they do make a statement, if they do make a statement, what they say about it. Just because I kind of feel like, this is something that they have to really make a legitimate, investigation into, and really have to, be responsible for what's going on and answer a lot of questions as far as, what it is that is going on. So, I mean, I don't know if anybody else has seen this or is up on this, but like, it's definitely definitely something that you want to look into, just because it's very interesting. So definitely check out Swaggle House. His channel had information on it. He's got 3 videos on it. Check out West Coast Avenger and you know, see what the information is on that, because he's got. I mean, it was pretty crazy to see that this is happening. And I would say one of the things that Spotlight said, I would encourage anybody who, you know, is buying slabs from, you know, anybody who maybe, you know, on eBay or just in general. If you're buying a CGC slab and you're not quite sure whether it's you know, on the up and up, check the certification number. Like definitely check it to see if it's you know, because if you may be able to check the sales and say, hey man, look at this. Automatic Chris did a lot of work in the video. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I didn't know the guy's name. Like, yeah, he went ahead and he was the one that actually found a lot of this stuff. Like, he really went deep into it and then was able to expose that this is a problem and that this is something that needs to be looked into. I know that Elite has that Q&A.
What CGC?
Yeah, the CGC Q&A. And
I don't think they're doing one until next year.
Yeah. So that's the thing. They're probably not doing one for a while, but it's going to be funny to see. Like, I mean, I'm hoping, and I mean, next year is, you know, not that long away. It's what, 11 days from now is just.
My daughter wants to say Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
And hopefully everybody has a good New Year.
Merry
right?
Christmas.
Yeah. But I won't, because I'm going to be sick.
Jeez. So thank you so much. Thank you, Bonnie.
Our little one's in bed, so she can't be out here to, you know, do her whole thing. But yeah, she would be the one that go ahead and
I'm about to end it soon.
act for the people.
Aww.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
But yeah, so they're not, you know, so 11 days from now is January 1st, and of course they're not going to do it then. But I definitely think they need to make some sort of statement or do something prior to that, just because the longer they let this linger, the more people are going to say stuff.
They're not going to answer until after Christmas, so this is being aware of that. They need to investigate some stuff. But yeah, check out a lot of those people who did videos. But at the end of the day, people need to remember to not giving this guy an excuse because CGC messes up a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They do, and this isn't a situation that I think of. Oh well, like there was just a mistake made. Like this guy's taking advantage of it. Like he's clearly found
he might have found and the funny is, I think he found that they, like you said, found something in a chink in the armor that he can get away with it.
Yeah,
and I think that's what happened. Just gonna say,
I think
that's what happened. I don't think he's doing nothing spectacular. Honestly, I think he's just doing some simple stuff and they're believing him, and he's probably calling customer service because a lot of people don't realize you can call customer service, which is great, and they'll add notes. They'll add notes to your order. So, like, I have an order, they have the wrong number. It's a 4-color book, but they have the wrong number. So I called them up, and she put it in the notes. It hadn't been changed on the website, but if they look at the notes like they're supposed to, it'll be catch. Like they caught my blue sign label of the Clone Wars 1. If people remember sharing that picture. And because that was the picture they provided on the website and everything, but it was caught before it was boxed up and put to shipping. So that's because I called them like 4 times about the notes. I didn't do it this time with this book because I think one time is sufficient. But I definitely will be calling it when it pops up on the thing. I'll check it and see. You know, you can check the picture. I'll probably be talking to them then if it is not corrected then. But then there you go. I'll have free shipping to send to CGC. You know, to get that corrected for 2 weeks after I get the book.
Yeah, and like you said, like this guy definitely is exploiting a flaw in the system. You know, that they are just, and really, you know, the thing that's ridiculous about this is that, you know, if they're that relaxed about, you know, just to rehold, like, oh yeah, no, just throw it in, whatever, it's good. Like that really isn't good. It's like, you know, you're gonna have to take, you know, more steps to make sure that this is, because, you know, it's not known how many different, you know, books this is, like if it's just one person doing it or if it's, you know, a bunch of people that have figured it. And that's the worst thing about exposing this to light right now is that, you know, other people may have or may start to try to do this because like, oh, I can get away with this. Absolutely. Like, and for how long can I do this before? I mean, obviously I think if you're sending anything, you know, within the next like week or so, I think that you won't be able to get away with it anymore. But you know, everything that's already there, if people have already done it, let's say he told other people, like, yeah, dude, like I'm making all kinds of money with this. Like you should be doing this too. Okay, so it's just you really have to wonder what it is with CGC as far as
And he wanted quick money too. To let people know, he wanted
Yeah.
quick money because he chose eBay. I think if he had chose a couple of the auction houses, you might have not even heard about this.
No,
Some people
not at
watch
all.
the auction houses, but they don't follow it like it's easier to follow eBay. And
Yeah,
eBay
because
stuff
eBay's
stays on
quicker.
there.
And
Yeah,
I think
eBay stuff
eBay-
stays on there.
Yeah.
It's a lot, it's a
Yeah,
lot
like
going
some
on. So
what was it like Comic Link and stuff? You
Mhm.
you kind of have to go a
you
little
got
bit
thousands
deeper
of people on Comic Link and Heritage. You got thousands.
Yeah,
eBay has millions.
absolutely.
So
And I think
and I'm not saying that's a knock on those auction houses. You
Oh,
can
no,
have
no.
5 to 6, 700,000 people visiting the site over like you would say. Let's say eBay has 20 million people. They could have when they have a hot auction might have 900,000. That's still a lot of people, and they make a lot of money because all you need is the right 900,000 people. You don't need millions like eBay because we've seen books on eBay that sold for more on auction houses. eBay is like almost. I feel like it's like so like the poor man's auction.
Well, the thing is, it's just it's the one that people go to first because it's the biggest selection. But the thing that I would say too is that like eBay, like you were saying to do it fast, get the money quickly, versus an auction like something like Comic Link. I don't think Comic Link is as easy to navigate as the past sales to figure it out. Whereas eBay, you can do it real quickly.
Yeah. And Comic Connect is about the same way because I actually tried to look up stuff on Comic Connect, and I couldn't find the sales. I couldn't find stuff that sold because somebody told me, "Oh man, this I was ended up getting this book," and I was like, "Oh man, let me look." I couldn't find it, so I was like, "Oh man, I didn't even know that book was up there." So that's what happened with that. I want to show a couple of pickups I have left. Sorry, everybody in the chat, I'm not feeling 100%, so I'm gonna blow through this, and I'll show that video one more time. All right, so I got this. This was actually on my list. I have the list that Chris did for me, and I might show that next time, and then show you what the stuff I kind of received. Well, this is one of them. I probably won't show it again, but I'll maybe talk about it. So, good thing about this book is this is Turtle Mania Special #1. The reason why I bought this slab, just to let people know, this book is reprinted heavily on anniversary times, and a lot of people think it's the original, but you can tell by the inside or the signature of the person who is allowed to reprint them from Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman. He signed a contract. They let him reprint it to make the shop some money. So a lot of people think they have the originals. I'm always skeptical when I see a raw one. And then when I see that signature, I know it's a reprint. That's why I opted to try to find this slab. I was opting for a 9.8. That was my goal on this. Chris probably might remember that because I told us I want to get an 9.8. Reason why I settled for this is not only because it's an old label. It's an old label 9.6. So will I send this in to CGC, let them press and clean it? I might. But also because this is signed by Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman. Getting Peter Laird's signature, you have to go up to where Chris lives, and I think it's in New Hampshire Con that every now and then he pops up. Yeah, so every now and then he randomly shows up. So, and he does it like on Sunday. So it's like a slow day. He doesn't do it like on a busy day. So he randomly pops up. To get his signature witness is like another damn near impossible. So that's why I opted for this one to not, to get Peter Lee's signature. Is insane, crazy, and to get it gold label. So I probably might give CGC a shot at pressing this. It's a white. The case because the case has a scratch on it and stuff like that. So I might, give them a shot at pressing and cleaning it and reholder. Because if this came back a 9.8, this would definitely be going with me to the end. A lot of people say, "Oh, this is going to the grave." I wouldn't say it's going to the grave with me, but it's gonna stay with me a long time. It just means a lot. So these next two books have dropped significantly, but I think these actually grades have held, in the grades I purchased for a reason. Because maybe I'll get them gold labels, especially this first one I'm gonna show. Because this first one I looked it over, and besides a little color rub, I'm like, I don't know why they hit a 9.4 on it. I say at the least it should be a 9.6. Shot at the 9.8 in my opinion, but I don't see any spine ticks. You know, how you would say keep it away. So, and it's this book.
Oh, nice.
Edge of Spider-Verse, the Greg Land variant. Greg Land came to New Orleans last year. He's not coming this year. So I would have added his signature to it and possibly a little sketch, up here or something. Because this is, I'm going to pass this along. It's one of those things, it's going to stay in my collection because I really like the character, but I will be passing it along eventually. It's like almost like a little nest egg, but super, super hard to find variant. Of the first appearance of key character. The last one I want to show, this book has dropped. The 9.8 of this book went from 30,000 to now 3,000. And it's not the Ultimate Fallout 4 because that didn't drop that significantly. But this is a female first appearance, and I hate to say it, that's kind of why. Clone Wars, so 1 out of 1,000 variant, special edition. So I looked this one over as well. I think it should get a 9.6. It has stuff to hold it away from a 9.8, but I think they have some color up on the front. No big old ticks. So this will be another one that I probably if they're not so far they haven't been announced in New Orleans, and I don't think they're coming. But if Ashley Eckstein, Matt Lantern, and some of the other people who play characters in the storyline, I'll probably crack it and get it signed. At least get a couple of signatures on it. So, and hopefully it can get that bump to like a 9.6. But it's another one, like I said, in a 9.8, this book is falling off the face of the earth. I literally remember, like, maybe not even a year ago, it was 6,000. And people were like, oh, that's a great deal, blah, blah, blah. Then it went down to 3,000. So yeah, but I think that book is still selling around what I paid for it, which is I'm okay with that. But if I had those signatures, I may be able to sell it and get a 9.8. So that's my kind of thought process on that book.
Yeah.
We'll go to Chris if he has anything. I'm going to turn my camera off. Like I said, I'm not feeling 100%, and we might, like I said, I'll show the TMNT graphic again, and we'll just say our closing thoughts and. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep. I have a couple slabs I can show. So we got 3 of these. So this one is a really cool one. It's a really fun one. Fortunately, a little rusty. But this one I got from Bleaka Street Comics, and it was just at a great price, and it was an upgrade for the one that I already have. I have this in the 8.0, and then I have, I think, one raw that I think is high grade, but I haven't sent it in. But you know what? I got this, and this is definitely high grade, so I have no problem with that. And he says there's no way that's not a 9.8. I don't know what the hell they're looking for, but I got Wolverine 1 and 9.6, so one that I'm really excited about. Definitely great book to have. One of the best covers that came out with it would have all the soldiers on the ground and Wolverine's with his claws out. Next up was one off my top list, and a book. Actually, I was surprised I got it. Like I really didn't think I would have come across this book like this and for the price that I got, just because of the fact that it was just looking it up on eBay, I was having such a hard time finding one that I could afford. But I ended up finding one on an Instagram sale, and ended up really being just an awesome find for me. So we got Green Lantern 87, the first John Stewart. So great Neil Adams cover, African American hero. Just a really cool Green Lantern, an awesome character to own. So one of my favorite characters out of DC is John Stewart. He's awesome. So definitely one that I'm excited to have in my collection. And then this one is a book that I have chased for many years, and I finally got it. And I know a lot of people who have followed me through the years will know the book without me having to actually show it. But I was really excited to get this, and just one that I was like I said, I've swung and missed so many times on eBay with this book. It drives me insane. And finally got one in my collection. I said this much. It's my fault for not getting one earlier than what I did, just because that's part of the problem is why I wasn't able to get it as easily as others. But finally got myself an ASM 300. So got to say I'm in the club. I did it. Here I am.
And I'm not gonna say the person he bought it from, but I'm gonna say shout out to the guy because he missed. They didn't. He got filtered on a claim. And I think it was like a 9.2 copy as well.
Yeah,
and
it was
the guy and other people, said they saw it, but they already gave it to the other person. So what happened was, the guy felt bad because a lot of people, said, yeah, we saw him, blah blah blah. He actually bought that book from him without it having to be for sale, if I'm not mistaken. Like, which is very rare. Which is very rare with that guy because usually he saves all the stuff with the live sales. Yeah. So shout out to him for remembering and thinking of him, and because that's all I can say. And that was a great ending of a fiasco. So like that's what made me kind of like always want to buy from that guy. I was already buying from him regardless, but now it's like every time he has a sale, I'm trying to buy from him because of that gesture. Because he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that. Nope. At the end of the day, we're just a person and a dollar sign in front. So shout out to him for holding down. We actually both have some orders with him. Hopefully my CGCs come back in and I can sell some books. Just to give people a heads up, I will be doing a 9/8 slab pool box. Ooh. And these ain't no like new. These ain't no new like, oh, this just came out. Like nothing is like just came out book like straight off the press.
Have you figured out how much a pull's gonna cost you?
I'm probably actually gonna do a really good deal and be like 125 a pull.
Oh man.
I'm gonna look. And I'm probably do a grand prize as well. Like somebody could win an extra book at the end. I'll probably try to do at least 10 pulls. I already have a couple of pulls from my pre-screen that are gonna be in that pool. 7 are coming back the day after Christmas. So I do have. I can tell people because they're pre-screen.
I'm gonna save up some pennies here because.
So I got a Captain Carter #1, the one in I think it's 1 in 50 or 1 in 25. The one that variant. I have that coming back in a 9/8. I think that's the only one from that order that I'm probably gonna put in there. So you got that, and these are the other possibility books. So I'm giving y'all like a little preview. I'm just telling you guys which want to be in this pool box. So we got Miracle Man #1. That is a very hard to find variant. I actually might be one of the more expensive ones. I got an Invincible Iron Man 7. What's her name? The tennis player Coco Golf edition. Nice. I got one to keep and one to put in the box. So that's probably like the newest book. Yeah, I'm looking at the dates. That's actually the newest book. But that was like 4 months ago when it came out. I think I have another one of this. Hopefully it's high grade as well. But I'm probably gonna do a Miles Morales Spider-Man #1 Peach Momoko. I know that's like a 1 in 50 something variant, maybe, or even higher probably. Because Peach is in like 1 in 200s and stuff. So I got that one. I got Hellcat #1, the Peach Momoko Virgin edition. Fantastic Four #1, Campbell variant, ratio variant. So those definitely, and maybe the Bloodline Daughter of Blade might be in there as well because I do have a raw copy, but I want to keep one. So I'll probably let go of it if it comes back at 9/8. So those are some of the ones you're looking at. I might have a few more. Because I do have like 19 other pre-screen 9/8s. And I'll have to see when those come back, which ones will make the box. But those are the ones I've definitely told you that are going to make the box if they're 9/8s. So there you go. But yeah, so it's probably, like I said, probably be 125 ship, and I'll probably try to find a book to add as a spin a wheel and get an extra book.
Yeah.
I don't have any Spawn, Michael, but they definitely always mention that to me. But I know if I ever see a Spawn collection, it's probably gonna be like, man, somebody's looking for this book in that book. I'm pretty good at that. I always just forget who the person is. Um, yeah, so that's what we're looking at for me going into next week. And like I said, I'll do that box. And like I said, I want to do super cheap and affordable. But that's all I got going on. Chris, you got anything going on? Oh yeah, we got the hunt too. You can promote the hunt if you want.
Yeah. So the hunt is going to be next Friday. So was that the 29th? Yeah, 29th. So hunt next Friday. And then we'll be back on the 27th to go ahead and do our next show. And but I did want to show this off. I got this in the mail. It's actually really fun. Yeah, this is a community thing that was sent out. So I got a Christmas card here. And for anybody that doesn't know, this Christmas card is circulated by the guys. Yeah. So this Christmas card is circulated by the guys at 3 Men in the Basement. They give this out to people throughout the community every year. And what this is a copy of the old school Marvel Christmas card that they used to give out. I think they give this out in like 1994, 93, 94 is when they did this. So this is the actual thing that was in office. Like it didn't get, it never made it out to production. It never went out to, just the regular people. So this is the card here, front and back. And then on the inside, they went ahead and they got it signed. They bring it to just about every convention and try to get new people to sign it.
And this is a copy of the original, right?
Yeah. They didn't give me the original. No, this is a copy of it.
I just want to let people know. I knew that, but how people watching.
Yeah, there's a copy of it, but I mean, there's so many different people who have signed this. I've actually been there live to see them, take it to conventions and get it stuff signed by people at different conventions and stuff like that, Terrificon and stuff. But I mean, there's all kinds of people in there that you have. Chris Claremont, Walt Simonson, Jim Shooter, Roy Thomas, Arthur Adams, Jim Steranko, Marv Wolfman, Larry Hama, Joe Jusko, John Beatty, Mark Bagley, Michael Golden, Clayton Crane, Mike Zeck, Al Milgram, Klaus Janson, just so many different people. Adam Hughes, who else? Greg Lynn, Bob McLeod. So this is just a really cool thing that they give out, that they send out to different people. I think they said that they do, let's see, it's one of only 100. One of only 100 that they send out. So
yeah, every really year cool. They send out 100. So
yeah,
it's actually kind of special to get one.
Yeah.
And then if you get one multiple times, if you get one more, it's even more cool.
Yeah,
and I think because it's something that actually, if I had gotten multiple, say I got two of them, or more, I would actually send the extra one out to somebody.
Yeah. Because so, and then they put it on. They send a little letter along with it, and it's on the old Marvel stationery, which actually I have some actual of that stationery. I remember Otto from 3 Men in the Basement gave me a couple pieces of that paper, so it's just like I actually have like original Marvel letterhead that they used to send out and be like, oh, you know what, we like your work, but it's not good enough, and thanks for doing it, or whatever, like all the interoffice stuff. So it's really, really cool, and definitely just a fun thing. So what I would say is
shout out to the 3 Men in the Basement. Otto.
Yeah, definitely go onto the Instagram, go onto the YouTube, and check out 3 Men in the Basement. Otto, Roger Levesque, Dave in the Cave, and then their friend Chinmo. They do all kinds of great stuff all throughout the year. Just different video content. They do a lot of great live shows. Just all this.
Otto does a lot of unboxing on Instagram.
But
if it's like big CGC, he'll save it for the show. He might show one book on Instagram.
Yeah.
So you follow on Instagram as well, because you'll see. Especially a lot of unboxings. He does a lot of unboxings on Instagram.
Absolutely. So the great group of guys, really awesome in the community, and well respected throughout the community. Like you'll see, Otto has been on TiVo's show a bunch of times. Just kind of going over the comics as the top 10 list and everything. So definitely go check those guys out because they have, just really, really great shows, awesome people. If you ever up in this area of the Northeast, you can get a chance to meet them. They're amazing people. So, definitely something, cool. And yeah, like I have to say, I'm pretty sure that I am considering, framing the both of these actually, just because, they're so cool, just to have. So,
definitely put it in the bagging board.
Oh yeah.
So that's what's up, everybody. Before we end it, I'm going to show the video again, the concept video, and I do appreciate everybody stopping through. I don't think I think I'll be on. I might be on a Biggie show. If I'm feeling like this, I'm probably not going to show. But I might be on Biggie show tomorrow, but it's no guarantees. I'm feeling like down again. So if not, everybody have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Yes.
All that stuff. Celebrate with your family. Have a good time. And,
Stay safe.
I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna play the video, then I'll play the outro, and that's going to be